The greatest rivalry is going to kick off this Friday, which means I'm back and I'm here to tell you all about it. Why on earth are the All Blacks going to play our club teams? It seems like a completely mismatched occasion. However, I have 3 reasons why it's not only a good thing for the All Blacks, but it's also a wonderful thing for the 3 people that I'm going to mention. Number 1 is it's good for Rassie. Number 2 is that it's good for the players in the clubs. And number 3, it's good for the fans. So why on earth is it good for Rassie Erasmus? Rassie has released a bunch of players from the main Springbok squad, the sort of fringe players, if you will, players who are still in the squad and would probably make a wider Springbok squad and probably have played this year, but aren't part of the core 23 to 33 man group. He's released those players back to their club teams so that they can go and play for their clubs against the All Blacks. This helps them to understand how the All Blacks are going to play. It gives them first-hand insight, and they can feed that information back to Rassie for the Springbok test matches. So it is an incredibly smart move for Rassie to release some of the players who wouldn't make it into the matchday squads against the All Blacks, so they can play for the Storms, they can play for the Bulls, they can play for the Sharks and the Lions, and take on the All Blacks to feed him valuable information. And secondly, it's valuable for those players like Ambrose Papier, who have just made it back into the Springbok squad, young players like Jaco Williams and Vusi Moyo, who have been newly selected for the Springboks in recent times. They can go back to their clubs and they can really try and make a name for themselves against the All Blacks in these big games. It doesn't mean that they're never going to play for the Springboks again, and it allows them to put a real stamp on the game, to play against the second best team in the world and truly try and make a mark for themselves. And thirdly, it's really, really good for the fans. This is because fans of the Stormers, of the Sharks, of the Lions, of the Bulls, they rarely get to experience the All Blacks as a team unless they play the Springboks. Now, obviously, that is a very obvious thing to say. However, it's important that these old school tours continue like this, because this is how they happened in the past, and actually teams like Transvaal back in the day have actually beaten the All Blacks. So it's a really cool thing to be able to represent your team, and for the fans to see people representing their beloved club teams against such a magnificent and huge and genuinely rugby's second best team of all time, the All Blacks. That's just all in jest. I have mad respect for the All Blacks, as do all South Africans. But I think one of the biggest questions, now that we know why we're having these games, is, are any of the teams actually going to win? Will the Stormers be able to give them a run for their money? Will the Bulls be able to bully the All Blacks? Will the Sharks be able to not be completely useless? I don't think so. Obviously, it seems like it's quite a 4-0 sweep to the All Blacks, and anything less than that would probably be very disappointing for the All Blacks and their supporters. But although that's a very obvious statement to say, I think if the one team can pull a shock, I actually predict it will be the Lions. And that sounds absolutely crazy, given the Lions and not being the number 1 team in South Africa, probably not even arguably the 3rd best team, because the Sharks have been doing really badly recently. The Lions probably have the best chance because of where their match lies on the tour. Unlike the Stormers, who are the first game, and I believe the Bulls are the second game, the Lions are right in between 2 of the Springbok test matches. It's midweek. It's between 2 of the major test matches that the Springboks are going to play against the All Blacks, which means they have an opportunity. It is likely Dave Rennie will obviously rest the main players that he will want to play on that weekend, or the players that have just played the week prior. So he will want to rest those players, use new players for the Lions game, and the Lions can play when they want to. If the Lions get that running rugby going, although the All Blacks are obviously really good at that, the Lions could run them for their money. So it could be that one team overthrows the All Blacks, but it would be like an All Blacks D or E team even, because the All Blacks have brought an insanely huge touring squad to South Africa. That being said, the excitement is building. I believe Friday night, the 7th of August, is when the Stormers will take on the All Blacks in Cape Town, which hasn't been seen for many, many years. And I'm super excited. If anyone's managed to get tickets, congratulations to you. I hope you have a lovely time at the game. And I'm so excited for when the Springboks take on Argentina as well, and eventually take on the All Blacks for the greatest rivalry series. And it truly is the greatest rivalry. I thank you for your time. If you'd like to leave a like, please do. If you'd like to subscribe, definitely do. I'll try and make a lot more videos about the greatest rivalry. May even make a video about the Curry Cup that's happening at the moment, and I would love to make more content in the future. So thank you so much for your support. Like and subscribe. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your days. Cheers.